Hello, this is Deb Joyce Meek with Delight of My Art, and today we're doing our March stamp class together. We are going to make these four projects, and I'll be putting them together as if you had gotten your packet from me in the mail. I won't be going over detailed directions with the measurements until unless you get the PDF mailed to you. So you can watch for free, and if you'd like a packet mailed to you, I can do that. They are $30. Or you can earn it for free with a $35 or more product purchase using the host code link that's in the description here. And I do have a limited number of packets left. I think I have maybe 6, maybe less. So I am using a slightly different what you're going to get in the packet just because I wanted to save those pieces for the packet, but I'll explain that when I get to it. So let's get into this. All right. So also, I just wanted to mention I made a video yesterday. We just had a sale start for the retiring products just 2 days ago, and things are on really good discounts. So I just did a video yesterday, catalog walkthrough, so you can see all of the discounts and everything. So it's the perfect time to place an order and get way more for your money, plus earn this class for free. So stay tuned down here. All right. So let's go ahead and put my face away. Bye. And we'll go down to the desktop, and I'll move this over closer in front of me here. We're going to be making these 4 projects. This one right here will go first, and then we'll get to this last one, which I'll call a double pocket card. We can fit a gift card right in there. So we'll save that one for last. So this is the order we'll do those in, doing this flowery one first. So I'll put that off to the side as reference, and we'll get out the packet. This is what your packets will look like when you get them in the mail. They'll be in a padded envelope, and I have a cardboard backing on there, so they come bagged and put together. Oops, there's 2 of those. And so you get one of each of the projects all packaged up in a bubble mailer with a cardboard backing. All right, so we'll need one of each of these. I think I put them off to the other side. Okay, so we're going to get this one out. Now let me show you. There's a slight difference between the one that I'm working on today and the one that you'll be getting. You'll be getting these beautiful gems, which I ran out of, so I'm going to use different ones. But these are the elegant faceted dots, and they are beautifully faceted. So you'll be getting like a white, a clear, and this blushing bride kind of pink color. Actually, it might be petal pink, but it goes really well with this pink too. So you'll be getting these, and these were out of stock at the moment. This is what I started with, and I actually like these better. So you'll be getting these, but I'll just use some polished dots today, which again are really pretty. It's a clear and like a petal pink blushing bride. So similar, but I wanted to save these for you guys. So I just wanted to point that out. All right, so here's our card off to the side here. We'll get everything out of this packet. You'll just, every card is separated by its own bag. So you just take everything out of the bag, and you can put your finished card back in here to protect it once you're done, to save it for when you need it. And I need my bone folder. I don't know if I pulled that out. I'm going to go grab that just a moment. I need to make my folds nice and crisp. So you'll have an envelope in there. You can put that to the side. We've got our different layers here. We've got some strips and little pieces here. And our little gold stripe, another white layer. So here's your card base. It already has the fold line in there. So we'll just go ahead and fold that. We'll get this off to the side. Make our workspace nice and neat. Huh? So we'll go ahead and put the black panel right on top here. We'll just glue that on with some liquid glue. Hopefully this is the one that works. And I think I grabbed the dry one. That just tends to happen. Okay, so we're going to do our trick and see if the other side works. So it seems to be that if the thin side is dry, try the thick side. There we go. See, it's not dry. See how other people would have maybe thrown this away? Look how much glue is in there. All right, so let's go ahead and put that layer with an even border. You have a little wiggle room to get it straight with this liquid glue, and it holds real fast. A couple seconds and it is on. All right, so here is our white panel. This is what we'll be stamping on. So let's get some grid paper out. I just happened to grab a little piece here. And we will get out Blushing Bride. The only two stamp sets that we're using in this class are Memento and Blushing Bride. Also Versamark, because we are doing some gold embossing. So those three, I guess. So I'm going to take this flower stamp from, where did I put my stamps? Here we go. And these are the two stamp sets that we're going to be using today. Hello Ladybug and On the Horizon. We're going to be using almost all of the greetings in this one. So you can use any greetings that you have if you don't own this set. But Hello Ladybug is an awesome set. And we will be using the medium daisy punch along with a bunch of these stamps. So we're going to be using these flowers, the dots for the ladybug, the little teeny dots right here, this big flower, and then the punch for the ladybug wings and the body and the flower. Hopefully that makes sense. I will be punching stuff for you for your thing. So the only punch that you would actually need for this class at home would be the medium daisy. Just so you know. Okay, so I'm going to take this medium daisy from that Hello Ladybug stamp set and the Blushing Bride ink pad. And we're going to stamp off, okay? So ink up your stamp and stamp off and then onto your card. Stamp off and onto the card. This is going to give it a fun, whimsical kind of look. Just kind of try to evenly space those. And if you can get the center of the flowers, that's going to help you. I don't know if I stamped that one off or not already. Okay, we'll just start over there. So I've got the center on there with all of the flowers. Now, before we put the ink pad away, let's set this to the side for a second. And we're going to get out these 2 strips of paper that were in your packet. Now count how many flowers you did here. And that's how many you need to put on your strips here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to need 7 from these strips. So again, stamp off. And where's my punch? Okay, so I'm going to put, if you notice, the petals are up and down perpendicular to the edges of the cardstock because that's the way the punch is situated. So it's going to be a little bit easier to punch out if you do it with the petals pointing to the edges. That's just a little tip. You don't need to. You'll still be able to punch it out if you don't do it that way, but just a tip. So you can fit more actually flowers in here if you do it every other. So you can either do it for ease of punching, or you can do, you know, fit more on your paper by nestling them in together. It doesn't really matter. So we're stamping off. And we've got 4. We need 3 more. I'll give you plenty of space here. Okay, so now we've got 7. Let's put our ink pad away for now. And we are just going to punch out the ones on the strip here. So this one should actually fill the whole flower punch. So your ink goes to the edges and you just have that little white space in the middle. So right here. I hope everyone has a fun weekend planned? I know my kids started spring break officially today, so we are not going anywhere fun. We're doing yard work if it would stop raining. So we need to clean up the yard. Fun plans. Maybe I should plan something fun. I've got one of my sons has a birthday party today to go to, and my daughter's going to go to a sporting event with my husband, and she's going to check on their science project at school, which was hatching chicks from our egg collection out back here. So that's kind of fun. All right, so let's go ahead and get our flowers out. Now, before you put those on, we are going to take our bone folder and just gently, by holding well over this little skinny part, just hold it firmly a little bit past that. You want to round the corners down just a little bit. If you pull too hard, you're going to rip a petal off. So that's why I say really hold that where it's the weakest, at that little skinny point. But I do want to round these. It gives a little character. And then I'm going to push up the petals just so that they have room to bend down. If I had just bent them down, they wouldn't have room to kind of pop off the card. So we're going to be laying those over top of the ones that we already stamped. Isn't that fun? So we don't actually have to pop up, double flowers. We're just popping up part of it. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly but as carefully as I can so I don't rip a petal. But you know what? If you do rip a petal, some of these are going to get cut off anyway. So it's probably okay. If you rip a petal, it's all right. Plus I gave you more strips than you need to, so that works out pretty good. Oh, Becky says, these cards are so pretty. Thank you, Becky. All right, so we're going through these petals here. I had this class in person last night, and I had lots of fun with Linda and Chris. Thank you so much for coming. I certainly appreciate that. And they will also get the PDF with the measurements mailed or emailed to them on the 3rd. I think that's the first Monday there in April. That's when I'm mailing and emailing all of these kits and everything. So they got to make theirs in person. I'm in mid-Michigan if you want to join me for a monthly class here, or I also do card kits and coffee at our local Big B here in Williamston, Michigan, the second Wednesday of the month. And I send out free card tutorials through email, so you can join my email list too. And I'll have to add that link to the description here also. Lots of fun stuff going on. All right, so we've got our flowers here, and I'm going to take I got to take the thick side, don't I? I'll take the thick side here, and I'll just dab it right in the middle. Usually I'd be using the thin side, but I think I left that one in the other room. And I don't want to leave you. So let's stick this to the side for a second, and we're going to carefully put these so that the petals line up in the middle. Don't worry about them going off the edge for now. We're just gluing the flowers on, and then we'll fix the edges at the end. Hold it there for just a couple seconds, and then it catches hold and it won't let go. This glue is strong, but it lets you have a little bit of wiggle room. See what I mean by having the centers left on your card there? It helps to have those so that you have some place to glue the flower, and you can cut off the edge without losing the middle piece, which is holding all the petals up together. It'll just make it easier. You can still glue petals by themselves. If you just had a couple petals sticking off, you could just cut a few and stick them on there. That would still work too. This is a quick way to make your card pop here. Isn't that fun? Okay, so here's what it looks like right now. And we'll just go ahead and take our snips and cut off the edges here. Actually, I'm going to do it from the back because I want to retain some of, oops, I dropped my things. I'm going to do it from the back because they are a little bit curved, and we're going to keep some of that curve if I'm just cutting it off from the back. Once it flattens out, it might go over the edge, but we do have some wiggle room here because this is not the actual edge of the card. This is the edge of the inside front panel, right? So now we've got our card and it looks like this. We'll get rid of all of our scraps here, and then we'll bring our card base back in and just glue that flat down on there. I'm not adding any gems to the center of this yet. That will be last. Okay, so we've got our panels put together. And now we can glue this gold stripy piece, and that goes flat on there too. You could put this on dimensionals if you would rather. That would work also. It does look a little bit lumpy. There's lots of bumps underneath this. So since this is a foil piece of cardstock, you will be able to see a little bit of texture once we glue it down, but that's okay. We want this card to be full of texture. Now, one of the last things we got left to do, actually, before we go any further, I should have probably done this before I glued the flowers on, but I can do it now too. We're just going to take those tiny little dots, 3 little dots from the Ladybug set, that's these right here, and we're going to put them in between all of the flowers just to add a little bit of interest. And I will turn my hand to get a little bit of different shapes going with these dots. Otherwise it looks a little bit mechanic if we don't move them around just a little bit. There we go. So it just adds a little fun background to that. Now we can do some embossing. So take out your, if you have an embossing buddy, I'd rub your little black strip there with that. If you don't have one of these, you can make your own with cornstarch in some bags. I'll link a video that I found. You can also buy those from the store too. So I'm going to get my Versamark, my gold embossing powder, my heat tool, and my stamp. Thanks for everything. That is from the On the Horizon set. So I'll go ahead and stamp that with the Versamark. And I'm just going to stamp that actually right to the side here. We're going to be clipping off the edges, but I wanted to have enough to hold on to when I'm heating it. That looks straight. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to see because it's clear. This is clear sticky ink, and when you put your embossing powder over the top, it sticks to it. I found this tray that we used to carry at a yard sale, but you could use a paper plate or a leftover container. You know, a lot of people use those little plastic leftover containers with the lids, and just have a plastic spoon in there and kind of spoon this over there. Anything you have will work. A piece of paper folded, and you just pour it back in here too. All right, before I blow this all over the place, I'm going to dump that back into my jar. That's a good tip too. Before you turn on your heat tool, this can sit. It's just sitting on there. Put away your powder before you start blowing and it blows all over your room, right? Okay, so I will go ahead and hold this. If this is too short for you, you can also hold the end with your bone folder or your scissors, because it does get quite hot. We're going to turn it to level 2. This has 2 settings, and level 2 is the highest one. So I'm actually going to hold that with the bone folder. There we go. I love the magic that happens with embossing. Doesn't that look cool? So now it's a little bit raised. I wouldn't touch it for maybe 10 seconds after you heat it because it might still be a little bit soft, but after that it should be good to go. So I'm going to clip off right next to the words here, just flat. And we don't need these pieces. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. If you have the black dimensionals, I love these for black pieces of cardstock. So if you're embossing on black or you get the black Ladybugs, I highly recommend these black dimensionals. The package comes with 2 sheets of the mini and 2 sheets of the regular. So it's a great deal for, and they last a while because you are usually using the white ones, but I like having this one. You can see it just kind of disappears back there. You're not seeing a poke of white behind there. You can pick this up. Okay, so I've got the backing off of those. And we're just going to put that off to the corner here, a little bit off center on the bottom. And now we can just add our gems. So what you do is just find the centers and just put your gems in there. And you'll use your pretty gems instead of the ones that I have to pick out, which are also pretty. It's just not quite the right ones. And now I've misplaced where I put them. Well, that's okay. You get the gist. We're going to add some gems in there, and then it will look like this. But yours will be faceted and very pretty. Let's move on to the next card. Oh, actually, before we do, we still have an envelope in the center of our card. So since we already inked this flower up with the pink, let's go ahead and do that again. Get out my scrap paper. Let's go ahead and stamp off one more time. Stamp off, and we'll get the corner of our envelope here. Oh, I didn't do a good job. You know, line that right back up and give it a better press. That's not too bad. Actually, I'm going to stamp it one more time. Let's make sure I'm doing this right. This is a brand new ink pad, so it shouldn't be having any issues. Okay, that's better. I'm going to stamp it to match up with the opposite. Now it just looks like it did a fun little design on purpose. All right, so there's that. And we'll also do the same. I'll do one on the inside. And I can add a sentiment on the inside later. So this says, thanks for everything. And I'll just add a little flower over here. There we go. So we've got one card done. Let's move on to the next one. Keep this ink to the side. We don't need our scrap paper anymore. All right, so my packets are here, and I'll need this one. Okay. Whoops, I'm throwing things. That's okay. All right, so for this one, I didn't have enough of these stripy pieces, so I will use another piece for that so that I can save those for you guys. So I will go ahead and use, see, this is the piece I have left. I have this little piece and it's not quite long enough. I can just use it. It's fine. But yours will be longer. So I believe that was a little strip like that. That'll work. All right, so that'll just be my short piece, and I'll have other pieces longer. So you have a square piece that's a white panel and a rectangular one. The square one will be for your flowers to be stamped, and the rectangular one is for the words. So let's go ahead and fold our card base. It's already scored. And you just press it with your broom folder. Add your white or your black panel and your white panel. We're not stamping on either one of these, so they can just be added right away. See how much glue is left in there? Okay, this one will have a thinner border of the black for a slightly different look. So it's important that you line up your layers right. That's why I like using this liquid glue. It gives me a little bit of time to make sure everything's right where it's supposed to be. All right, now we can go ahead and stamp our greeting here. Relax and enjoy your day in black on our rectangle piece, right in the middle. Looks good. And now we want to do the flowers. And where did the flowers go? Oh, they're hiding. Okay, so we have pink flowers. So we're using Blushing Bride for all of this. That matches the paper. And I believe this is full strength. And let's see what not full strength looks like. Yeah, I like full strength better, I think. All right, and we have a black marker. And I'm going to take the thin side and just color in the middles of the flowers. There's circles already there, so you can just follow along. Makes it pop just a little bit more. And we're going to fussy cut this out. Sorry, this is the only fussy cutting you have, I think. Just a little bit. So we're going to fussy cut, give it a slight white border. I think I did all three of the flowers separate. Yep. So the trick for fussy cutting is move your paper, not your scissors. So you can see I'm turning the paper to match where I want the scissors to cut, and I'm slowly closing the scissors as the paper is moving. That's the trick. So we got one. Cut off some of this extra bits. So if you're not a fussy cutter fan, you only have to do a little bit. And if you are, you probably already know this trick to turn the paper. Two. And it helps to get rid of your extra pieces around the edges so you can maneuver your paper in a circle a little bit easier. It's kind of like tracing. All right, we've got all three. Let's move all this trash to the side here. And we've got a stitched rectangle right here. This is the second smallest of the rectangles. And I have really specific dimensions that this little white piece will fit in there. It's to the 16th of an inch, but it's got the perfect border on the inside there. So you can see the stitching evenly all the way around. And we'll put our flowers on here too. Just flat on there. You could put those on dimensionals if you wanted to. I chose not to because I'm putting the whole label up on dimensions and I didn't want it to be too tall. I do want to nestle in my words with the edges of the flowers. Does that make sense? So I'm not covering any of the words. Come on. All right, our sentiment panel is ready. And now we're going to do our strips. So first of all, let's go ahead and do this one. Now you'll notice on my sample, oh, that's even a little thinner. I have the stripes going the opposite way, so I'm going to do it opposite of what this is. So I'm going to cut, the stripes are going this way, I'm going to cut it at an angle the other way. And in order to even get the same angle that you did at the top here, you can take the piece that you cut off and move it down to the bottom and follow your same angle. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to hold that against the edge there and cut. So now the angle on both sides is the same. So I'll lay that there. Now this one I want to angle the other way. So I'm going to take this piece that I took off and just slide it all the way down so that the bottom tip touches the bottom. And then follow that line. And then this one I'll do the opposite way again. And you can play around with the lengths of these if you want some shorter and some longer. And I kind of overlapped the pink on top of the other ones. So with yours, your black piece is going to be a little longer than this, but you get the idea. So this is a fun way to use little bits and pieces of paper up. If you have some scraps and just some stripes and stuff laying around. Just use them up. All right, and I'm going to put this on black dimensionals again. I'm going to use the big ones this time. So I'm going to put one on each corner and then one in the middle to support it in the center. And center that in your card. I'm going to put it slightly up from the center. And then we can sprinkle some gems on there. I seem to have lost the gems, but yeah, there I sprinkled two little ones and a big one here, and you can pick either the clear or the pink or the white ones. They just all will look cool. And you can put gems in the center of your flowers too if you'd like. You've got, I think 30, you got 30 little gems. So there's plenty for all of these cards and then some. So that's fun. So this one, we used these pink flowers. Let's go ahead and decorate our envelope with those. And they went right here. And the inside. While you have your stamps out, you may as well decorate the inside. Even if you don't want to add, your inside greeting yet because you don't know what the occasion is for yet, you can still decorate with the colors and the designs you have out. So there's our second one, not the last one. This one is kind of complicated. We've got some paper piecing going on here, and I'm going to make you do a little bit of work with this one. So pay close attention. You might need to rewind this and go over it a couple times. So let's get out our next packet here. That is this one. Okay, so this is one with the gold leaves. We've got a note card with this one. So this is scored also. So we're just going to go ahead and fold that. And the front of that is actually going to be fully covered by this Blushing Bride piece. So it's fit to completely cover the front. So we're just going to glue that flat on there. And set that to the side. And here's where we're going to get all crazy. All right, let's get everything out of the way so we can concentrate. I have this piece of cardstock, and what we're going to do is cut it in half twice. Let me get my trimmer out here. So I'm going to take this piece and measure it and go in half. This way, the PDF will tell you exactly where to cut it, but I've got the long side on the top and the short side on the side. So we're going to go and cut it in half, and then we're going to turn it. So we have the long side at the top again and the short side on the side. We're going to cut it in half again. So we'll end up with 4 pieces, 4 little rectangles after we do that to all of these pieces. Now, I want you to take a stack of 2 and put them together. And I want you to take the other 2 and put those together. We're going to cut these the same, and we're going to cut these a little bit different than these, but we're going to cut them at the same time. So with these 2 together, have the long side at the top and the short side at the side. Put it back in the track, but I'm going to have you pick the top left corner and the bottom right corner, and you're going to put those in the track at 1/2 inch. That's 2 lines over from the center track. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to put the left top corner on the second line, and I'm going to put the bottom right corner on the second line to the right of the track. So it takes a little bit of working to kind of maneuver that, but once you get it in place, see, I've got my long side at the top, short side at the side. I got my top left corner on the second line and my bottom right corner on the second line. And I'm going to carefully close my trimmer while holding this paper and then cut it right there. So we're going to put this off to the side just like that. Now with your second stack, put it in long side at the top, short side at the side. This time, instead of the left side going up, we're going to have the right side going up. So we're going to tip it like this and put the upper right corner on the second line and the bottom left corner at the second line. So here's my long side, here's my short side. Upper right corner is on this second line. Bottom left corner is on the second line from the track. And I'm going to carefully close my trimmer, hold on to both corners here. While that closes, this bar will hold the paper, and then you just cut that. So as we push this over to meet the other side, you should see that they are cut differently. This one has an angle cut like this, and this one has an angle cut like this. So this is probably the most complicated part of these cards in this card class today. So if you need to rewind this part and watch it over again, I hope that was clear enough to go over again. So we should have two pieces that look like this, and two pieces that look like this, two here and two here, and we're going to piece these together. Once you get this pattern down, play around with different patterns. You could cut different rectangles of different colors, and then you're piecing them together. It kind of makes this cool quilty design together. So you can mix these up now. It's just going to be a matter of putting together a puzzle right now. Okay, so take out your piece of black, and this is where you are puzzling together. So I'm going to have this as a reference, but we're going to be wanting a line in here and here, and then pointing towards the middle. Hopefully that helps you put your puzzle together. So this one's going to go here because this line's pointing towards the middle. This one can go opposite that. This one's going to go here because this line is pointing towards the middle. See, this one doesn't go here, so we have to go another spot. This is pointing towards the middle. This is just the puzzly part. So before you get too frustrated here, we're just going to lay the pieces in where we think they're going to go, and then you can kind of push them to where your black borders are even. So play around with the spacing here. And then you can glue one piece at a time. Hopefully nobody's breathing wildly behind you to blow it all over, or having a fan on or anything. So one piece at a time, we're just going to glue those on. And don't worry if it's not perfect, because we're going to be covering up a lot of that surface with some fun other things. It's just a fun background. Kind of a complicated background, but look, I think you can do it. I'd love to see you finish this fun fold, or not fun fold, fun cut, I guess, and show me what you do with it. So it works with probably any size. If you have a little rectangle, you just cut it in half, and then just stack your two to do. So I bet you could do it in a different size than what I have. All right, we got half of it on there. Let me know if you have this Ladybug set. I am adoring it. I think I used it last month too. And it's carrying over to the new catalog. I got a sneak peek at the new catalog 2 days ago. So as a demonstrator, we get to see things a little bit early. And that's over a month early. That doesn't go live until May 3rd, I think. May 3rd or 4th. That's a Tuesday. And we get to pre-order select items from the new catalog starting April 1st. So I haven't gotten the list of what I can pick out yet, but I am kind of excited about some things in there. And I'm a little sad to see some things go. So you saw the retiring list on my video yesterday. So I would highly recommend you check that out sooner than later, because there are some great deals on there, and they're going to disappear fast. Okay, so here's our panel, and let's pull out the other elements from the card pack. We've got these two beautiful gold foil leaves. These were punched out with the bow punch. It punches out both of them at once. I love this new punch. They're retiring the twig or the sprig punch, which was one of my favorites, but I thought this one is actually a great replacement for that. But I love both of them. So just give a little glue on some of those leaves there, and I'm going to stick that off. Actually going to stick it off the edge just a little bit. Off this top left edge. Just a skosh. That's a real measurement. Actually, it might be. I'm not actually sure. All right. Now let's put this right onto our card base here. Now with the measurements that I had for this paper, I wanted a perfectly even black border, but that with the note card, you do have a little bit longer this way. So we will have a little bit more pink border on the left and the right than we do up and down. That's okay. We're just going to glue that on flat. Okay. And we can stamp now Thinking of You and our ladybug dots. Here is Thinking of You and our little dots. Get our Memento Black out. Thinking of You can go right in the center. And our black dots are perfectly spaced to go on these little wings. Boop. All right, we're done with those. And now we can put together this part. So this is another stitched rectangle, same size as the other one. And again, our specially created 1/16 of an inches little white rectangle to fit in there perfectly. Okay. And it's crooked, so I've got some time to make it straight. Now I'm going to put that on black dimensionals again. I love my black dimensionals. Ooh, I got real close to the edge. But you know what? It's not going to show because it's black. Take our backing off. Isn't that nice? All right, we're just going to put that right in the center. And we're going to add our little wings here with mini black dimensionals. I love these things. I'm telling you, if you don't have these yet, you need to get them. I'm going to add them right close to the top part here because I want that to just go right on there. Actually, I'm going to add another one. I could have added regular size, but towards the center so it stays on the body. The kids are home from school today, but I don't hear them, so I'm wondering what they're doing. Oh, there it is. Isn't it sweet with pink wings? Light pink. So cute. Okay, so I'm going to put this down here, and I want the words to kind of go right in between these antlers. Antlers? Antenna. Goodness. Antlers. Oh my goodness. That's not right. So I'm going to put one big black dimensional in the body, and the head's actually just going to go straight on here. So I'll add a little bit of liquid glue just to the head there, and that will hold it onto the label. All right, I don't want the wings to go off the edge of the card, so I'm gonna maneuver this just a smidge. There we go. Okay, and there is our little note card. There's a lot of bling going on here. You can add more bling or you can just leave it as is. It's up to you. We've got our nice little gold leaves here. So there's our thinking of you card. Let's see, we can add something to this card also. Should we add some pink flowers to the middle? Let's do it. We'll just grab these pink flowers back out, because we need to decorate this one too, right? So I'll just go ahead and put that down here and on my little envelope. All right, and that one is done. We've got one more, this fun double pocket card. So let's do it. So here's what it looks like. I'm gonna get my work surface all settled here. All right, so here's our fun pocket. So this pulls out with this little tie here, and then this you can fit a gift card in. And when your gift card is in there, it covers up your greeting until they take the gift card out, and then there's your words right there. And you can make a little message on the back. You could add another white panel on here if you wanted to, but I think the pink is light enough to write on if you needed to. But let's go ahead and put this one together. So put that off to the side here and grab my last bag. Where did it go? Maybe that's what fell earlier. I'm not sure. Oh, I found my gems. Okay, here's the bag. All right, so real quick, the only stamp that I'm going to have to clean is this flower one, because we're going to be embossing that in gold right here. So that's really the only stamp that we use twice, other than, you know, with different ink, I should say, because we've used some things twice. I'm going to get out this little piece right here because I have an extra. I'm just going to scrub it off. That'll work. Okay, so let's get everything out of our packet here. This one has our little bee. I called this class Pink and Gold Ladybugs, but we're really only using one ladybug and a bee. But we're using the stamp set a lot. All right, so let's get out our big black piece here. And there's two score lines on it, one right in the middle and one near one end. So we're just going to score that, or fold it rather. It's scored already. And then you're going to take this side and just fold it down. So that just gives us a little fancy lip for our pocket. So that's what it looks like. We're just going to glue that flat down. Liquid glue is very strong, but it does take a couple seconds to dry. So hold it for just a couple seconds so that it can adhere, and then it will stay. All right, so with this one, we can take this piece. Now with your kits, I have a piece that will fit here. I ran out of this fun paper. It's that same fun stripy paper. So I actually have two. I think I have two littler strips that will fit here. Just because I didn't want to give you the too short one, I'm going to use that one. So I'm just going to put them together or something, which actually looks kind of cool. But yours will have a piece that will fit. So you'll just take your stripy piece and put it on that top flap that we folded over right there. And there's a thin border there. So you'll be giving yourself an even border all around. Mine is too short. See, mine doesn't go all the way to the top there, so I have another piece just to add on top of that. Isn't it funny how you do a mistake and you're like, well, actually, I really like that. I do actually really like this extra little piece on here, but that was not my intention. And it just so happens that this piece that I had extra goes the opposite way. Oh my goodness, and it lines right up with it. Well, that looks really cool. All right. So here's the mistake. And here's what it's supposed to look like. Both of them look cool. Anyway, so your piece will fit there. And here's another piece. I didn't have another piece of this cardstock because this other side of this one is this. So I'm going to add this piece here, but it just fits just flat on there. You will get this piece because it has some pink in it, and that's why I wanted to draw the pink in from here. This one doesn't have any pink. So, yeah. Oh, well, I get this piece, and you guys get the fun piece with the pink. Because I didn't want to skimp out on you guys. I was trying to get as many packets as I could out of the materials that I had. Since this piece doesn't have any pink, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab, is this Blushing Bride? Oh, I don't have, I'm going to grab a marker. I'm going to grab this marker, which is Blushing Bride, and I'm going to color a few of these little flowers here. That'll grab some pink in there. Just some of these little ones. That'll kind of balance out. Now I hear the kids. Just a little scribble of this Blushing Bride to add that color back in here, because otherwise our pocket piece is going to be the only pink on this card, and I just wanted to add a little bit more. Let's see, do I need any more on there? That should be fine. Just a little bit. Okay. So with this, I want you to run a little bit of glue. You see the long side and the short side? You're going to add glue on a real thin line on the short side here, and then close it. And I don't want to use the thick side of this, so I might have to open a new glue real quick. Okay, pause on that for a second. We're going to put this to the side and get out our other pieces here. Now I hear the kids. I don't know what they're doing, but they are making some noise. All right, so we've got some gold thread here. Not thread, but it's cord. I'm not sure what that one's called. It comes with gold and silver, which is really cool. And we've got our little vellum wings. What I want you to do with the wings, you see these top two corners here, it's kind of pointy here and here, and then you got a nice curve. I want you to line up that point and that point with the edge here where it kind of goes in and goes in here. So I want you to line that up just like this, and then cut the stripy piece along that curve of the wings. Does that make sense? This is an extra step you don't have to do, but I think it's going to make your bee look cleaner. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to hold that just like that and cut along that curve. So that's just going to look nicer. Now, before we glue any of those pieces together, I'm going to take my scrap paper again. I'm going to take a black Stampin' Blend, the dark one, and color the white lines of this stripy gold piece. The reason I'm using a blend is because this has foil on it, so if you go over the gold a little bit, it should wipe off or not show up as well. I wouldn't just color over the whole thing with it, but it definitely is a little bit more forgiving. My daughter's singing to herself. Well, at least they're in a good mood, right? Can't complain about that. Okay, isn't that cute? We got a little bee body now, and we're just going to glue that right onto our black punched out bee. And I can get rid of this scrap paper now. And I don't need that anymore. And we don't want to lose our wings. Those are really clear, aren't they? Easy to lose. Keep track of your wings. All right, so that should also line up with the neck of your little bee there. And then with the wings, I put 2 glue dots underneath the top of the wings. You can see them just barely if you were looking, but they blend in pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna put 1 on that top and 1 right there. And we're gonna add with the wing curve right at the edge of that body that we did. So you can see those 2 dots there, but we are going to cover it up with a bow and another glue dot, so they will be less noticeable in just a second. With the cord that I gave you a little bit longer a piece than you need for the bow because we also need to use this for the loop. So you'll take it from one side and tie your bow, and one of your tails is going to be long, and we're just going to cut that one off. So it's all one. I didn't want to have you lose a tiny little piece. I didn't need to pre-cut it for you. So okay, pull that. See, one side's pretty long. Okay. Actually, I don't want the tail quite that long anyway. All right, so we've got this little bow, and we've got this little extra piece for the loop. I will put a glue dot right in the middle here. And add our bow. Oh, this bee is so cute. There we go. All right, so with this little label piece, this is the same punch, but I wanted a border for it to look like a border in the background. So take your black one, and you see the flat side and the flat side, cut it from flat side to flat side right in half. Like that. And then we're going to take the white piece, and I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal. On the bump side, just run a little strip near both of the bump sides. Hopefully that makes sense. Right there and right there. So now I'm going to turn it over so the sticky's on the back, and I'm just going to line this up to get a good border. So I'm just going to stick that down, and we're going to have a white gap in the middle, but nobody's going to see that because it's on the back. So on the other side, try to match what you did on the first side, thickness wise, for your border there. Oh, somebody's using the blender. Welcome to spring break, guys. The noise has started. All right, so here's our panel piece for our bee, and we're going to add him with dimensionals, black ones, because they're so fun. So we got one for the body and one for the head. And put him, okay, so the bumps are on the top and the bottom because that kind of mirrors the roundness of the bee here. So I want his antenna to be centered on there with the body. So here's our sheet, and then this will go right on here with dimensionals. Boy, that does not look even at all. I don't think I cut it straight, but it looks straight on here. That's funny. Doesn't matter because nobody's going to see that side. Okay, so I just put 4 on there, and we'll take the backing off. Sorry about the blender. I don't think they'll be blending things all day. Maybe. It's spring break. So I'm going to center this on here. I'm going to put it down a little bit further than my other one. All right, so now I'm going to get out a new glue. I might have to grab it from the other room. I'm going to grab it from the other room. One moment, sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I've got this glue. I think this is the one that works. And I'm just going to run a thin bead right along the edge here. You can do this earlier in the process or right now. Either one will work. But we do want to make sure that we hold this and press it and keep it pressed down for a couple seconds, because this is going to be where the, you know, you're pulling things in and out and you don't want this to fall apart. So that looks good. We'll just leave that to really dry and cure, and we'll go on to the centerpiece. So this is our inside little pocket, and this will fit real nice in there. So with the pink piece here, just go ahead and fold up the bottom and give that a press with the bone folder here. Okay, here we go. Before you glue that down, I want you to put your white panel in, and we're going to stamp on there so that you know that your words are going to show while the pocket is closed, because the pocket will not be able to be opened. We want to be able to see that. So this one says, "Wishing you so much happiness," which shows up after they take the gift card out, which is a nice little fun thing. Pocket in a pocket with a secret little message. Love it. All right, so we're going to do that right there, right centered on there, leaving enough space for your embossed flowers in the corner. So let's put this to the side, and now we can emboss our flowers. I put them over there. All right, so let's go ahead and take out the embossing stuff again. This is the thing that fell on the floor earlier. Okay, the tray. We've got our tray. We've got our Versamark ink. You see, I store it this way, and I store it with the little powder thing in there so that the ink is always at the top of the pad like our other inks kind of do. And where did my embossing powder go? We'll find out. Oh, it's right there. It's one of those things that it's right in front of your face, but you're just like, where did that go? I was just using it. It's right in front of my face. Right here. So I'll go ahead. You can see it's stained pink just a little bit. I don't know if that's showing up, but it doesn't matter because we're covering it with powder anyway. Give it a flick. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so let's clean up first. Close it. I have yet to spill, knock on wood, any of these little embossing powders, so I'm probably due. So I have to be very careful. So level 2. I love that process. It's just so magical. Okay, so now we have this piece, and this is drying for the next couple seconds, so I don't want to, smush it or anything. But this is where we're going to add our little loop. So I'm going to take some tear-in tape on the back here. And you can either add the loop and then tape over the top of it, or add the tape and then press the loop into it, whichever is easier for you. So you don't need too big of a piece either, but you want it to be strong on there. So you don't want it too short. Okay, maybe it will be easier if I just add the tape. Let's add the tape. And then we can stick it there. Stick one side in. Oh yeah, that's easier. It gives you an extra hand to hold things. And I don't want it too long. Maybe like enough to hold, enough to grab onto. There we go. That looks good. And I'm going to snip off any extras, because anything else that's left underneath here is going to add a little bit of bump. If you wanted to write anywhere on here, you'd have to be contend with some bumps depending on how long it goes behind there. So shorter the better. Well, not shorter the better. You want it to grab on to your whole piece of tape there though. So I think that's long enough. And then we will add some glue. And I'm actually think I'm going to add this one just so we're really secure. Oops, up at the top here. Let's add one more piece of tape on the top side. It's only a tiny little piece. Extra security. And then if we take that backing off, it will stick to the other side. Aha! So this is another one of our glue options. I just tend to usually use the liquid glue just because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, but you can go either way. If you like tape runner better, then you can stick with that. This one, you gotta make sure that you're even before you press anything down. All right, so now we've got that. Let's go ahead and glue our pocket shut. So right on this short side right here, right there, and right there. And again, hold it so that it has some strength and has time to dry. And we're just about done. Now again, you can add some of your gems to this one. With the faceted gems, you could sprinkle them on top of your flowers here maybe. They might be a little bit hard to tuck into the pocket that way though. Or around the bee somewhere. Let's see, this one goes with the one I made before with the cool gold and pink paper. And this is the one I was working on with the replacement paper. So there we go. If you get this pack of paper, I think it's Abstract or Beauty and Abstract or something like that. It comes with a whole bunch of fun colors, but you could experiment with different colors with that. So there's my two versions of it. I still like this one better, I think, but this one's cute too. It is cute. And you could add a little bit more gems to this one probably. All right, so there are our projects. We have one of each of those. If you'd like to get a card kit or card packet, place an order with me to earn it for free. Anything over $35, which would probably be absolutely the best option right now because everything is on sale. Not everything. A lot of things are on sale, so you get so much more for your money that way. Or you can just purchase the packet and the PDF for $30 and I will ship it to you for free. Shipping included is what I mean. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody has a fun weekend, and you can find those links in the description either on my Facebook page or on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm so close to getting 1,000 subscribers. I think it's like 40 more people or something. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you haven't joined my email list yet, go ahead and click on that link too. You'll get free tutorial PDFs every Tuesday. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.